Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to Let's Level Every Class the World of Warcraft War Within series episode 10, featuring our Maniac Mage, Malakia. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Top right corner of the screen is going to be a playlist card which will take you directly to Malakia's specific playlist leveling campaign journey, and throughout this video and all videos to come there will be other playlist cards with other characters in their respective leveling campaigns. We have Human Warrior Malakia, Blood Elf Paladin Valera, Void Elf Monk Novazaru, Jonai Shami Morame, Death Knight Jovi Quinn, and many more characters yet to come. Shukran as always, family. Thank you so much. Alright family, this is it. We are back in the hometown of ORG, Orgrimmar, and we are finally on the home stretch to level 80, the current level cap. It's soon to become 90 come midnight, but I'll cross that bridge when it comes. The current level cap is 80. We're sticking with 80. Okay. I'm excited for this, man. This is the final home stretch. The final home stretch. And check this out, family. Tell me if this is not a perfect old school look to go with. We have the robes of the Archmage, blue and gold, absolutely fantastic. I forgot what shoulder pieces these are, but these are one of the end game shoulder pieces that mages would go after. It's not the best in slot one, which I believe drops from Blackrock Depths if I'm not mistaken. I'm still trying to get that, but pretty much everything else is basically to spec. The hand pieces are the big mage like gloves and stuff like this, This is basically the gear that you would go for if you didn't get into raids. This is basically almost capping off your not your capabilities as a mage, but this is the highest you're going to go gear rating wise in classic. Now I don't remember what number that specifically is. It's been so long, but I don't know, it just felt awesome. It felt like I needed to do this. I needed to give a throwback, and shout outs to all my veteran WoW players out there. This one's for you, slash salute. I'm sure many of y'all would appreciate this. But let's go ahead and get this started. We've got 10 levels to grind through. We got a little bit to discuss, and let's just do it, family. Let's go for it. So we're doing time walking, and the current campaign is Miss Pandaria MOP. So this is what we're going to be doing, family. This is we got a demon hunter. Dude, we never not have a demon hunter. I swear you guys must be one of the most popular classes in WoW, because I can't get away from you guys. Shoutouts to my evoker brethren here, and I believe we have, is that Brand? Oh dude, that dude was cosplaying. I was like, wait a minute, is that Bronzebeard? What? How is he here? But he's just cosplaying, so that's pretty cool. Shout out to that guy. He tricked me. That was clever. He got me there. So let's go ahead and discuss what did it feel like jumping into Mage in retail versus classic. So Mage feels awesome, just not starting out. In comparison to classic, when you start getting, you start with Frostbolt, and then you just quickly, not quickly, but you start to like gather and level, then you start to get the feel for it. Mage felt a little underwhelming at first in retail. Maybe it's the sound effects that kind of threw me off for a loop, like the original Frostbolt sound versus the whispering Frostbolt that we get in retail. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in feeling like you're making an impact to an enemy mob and such. Blizzard still feels really good. A lot of the newer abilities, once I got the hang of it, felt really awesome to utilize. There's just so much AoE capability. By the way, I have always dreamed of having an actual talent that is like a mix of frost and flame, and just combining both elements. So by the time you reach level 70, or actually by the time you reach, once you unlock your hero talents, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Once you unlock the Frostfire path, you just start feeling like you're a menace, like a complete menace to society. It's such a good feeling. But that you just gotta I want to say honestly, you gotta get through that first like level 30 level hurdle. You got to get through it. But once you do, it just feels awesome. We still have our warps. We still have the portals. We still have all of the, you know, ice barrier, ice block, cone of cold, all these familiar tools on our tool belt that just make Mage fun. Mage in Classic is one of the best classes. Honestly, I would throw it as the best class, like bar none. Best damage dealer, in my opinion. This is just me. Best damage dealer all around. Best for versatility. The utility that you can get with a Mage is just, oh my gosh. I mean, have y'all ever done a mage run? Like just all mages, like 4 mages, 1 priest in Scarlet Cathedral, and know what that feels like? That is a phenomenal feeling to just, I'm telling you, just do it. For all my Classic Anniversary family, still rocking in Classic Annie, just find, if you're playing a mage, find. Oh, and this ability is cool too. This clone, I know warlocks can summon like 20 different freaking mobs at once, like 20 imps, and every single one of them are going after you, which looks sick as heck, by the way, and it looks overpowered as heck. But mages having our subtle 3 clone and just getting to shoot consistent like frost bolts, it's just nice, man. It is a nice feeling. But like I said, that first early game, it doesn't feel the same, and that took me quite, it's a little bit of an adjustment period for sure. Second dungeon, Skolo Dolo Skolomance, the Miss Pandaria version. This is a fun freaking dungeon, y'all. This is an incredible one to do, especially for time walking. It's just, oh, it's such a good time. Now, why did I choose Forsaken as the mage? So I really debated here, because I was saying to myself, you know, gnomes are fantastic mages, but I hate gnomes. I've already done human-like characters enough, I feel, like for the first, 4 characters of the Let's Level series are basically elf/human-like, and I really wanted to diversify and kind of go back to what I started out with originally. Before I was a Blood Elf loyalist, so to speak, before all that, I was definitely rocking with the Forsaken. Like, I was always a Forsaken. I love Tirisfall Glades. Just getting to hear the violin and that ambience in Tirisfall, just in like over by Death Knell and all that stuff, just, you really just get the feeling of you're home. You are home, and that is, it's a feeling that is indescribable to me. It really is, and I'm sure many of you feel the same. What the? Are you kidding me? No way. Oh, sorry, dude. Oh, okay, hold on. We're gonna hold the presses. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop my mage discussion here for just a brief moment. So this is the same group pretty much as the temple. Same group, I think, with one change, right? We still have this Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter family, let me talk to you for a second. Let's sit down, take a breather, take a sip of tea. Let's have an open and honest conversation. Demon Hunter family, when people, okay, I love y'all. I think y'all are amazing. I think y'all are incredible players. I think y'all have a one-track mind, and you want the end result as quick and as fast as possible. You guys are the speedrunners of Azeroth, and no doubt about that. And I think some of y'all are incredibly talented. I really do. But this is when people tell you in groups, especially for time walking campaigns, slow it down. There's no reason to go above and beyond. There's no reason to go at full speed, full throttle, 24/7. But I know, I get it. That's just how, and I've heard this time and time again, this is just how Demon Hunter is played. And it's going to be interesting to see when I do Demon Hunter, and just to see how I'm going to adapt. But look at this. Like, and look at this other Demon Hunter. Even he's sitting here saying like, whoa, hang on there, champ. Like, your whole group wasn't ready yet you're going way above and beyond, good sir. Demon Hunters, please be respectful to your group. It's not a race. It's a journey. It's just time walking campaigns. Other players want to play the game too, so just let's work together. Let's play a little bit here. And again, this is no disrespect to y'all at all, but this is I'm gonna definitely leave this portion in, because this is a prime example of when people say things about demon hunters, this is what they mean. Slow it down a little bit. Take it easy. Your other teammates are here. We all just want it. We're all going to the same goal, same objective. Just slow it down. That's all. But it was a fun time, family. You know, it was fun to go back to my roots and to go back to what I was prior to the Blood Elf invasion. Being a Forsaken Mage again was really fun. I honestly, I love Forsaken Mages. I love seeing y'all out there. It's just unique. It's just unique. There's nothing like it. Yeah, there's a lot of human mages and Blood Elf mages and various other classes and such, but being a Forsaken Mage in this game feels really, really nice. And family, if y'all are enjoying the content, toss it the video a like, commenting for constructive feedback, subscribing if and only if the Let's Level series has earned your trust. And shoutouts to the Void fam. Y'all are absolutely incredible, amazing, amazing individuals. The channel would be nothing without y'all. Y'all support is seriously, it's been phenomenal and incredible. We're definitely going to be swapping up. I've recently just had not a surge, but just a new wave of Void fan members that have come into the Let's Level series. So I'm going to be swapping up some of the shout out names here pretty soon. So bear with me, family. I'm catching up. I'm catching up here. So bear with me. The Shukran family. As always, Shukran. Thank you so much. But man, being a mage is just, it's such a freaking awesome feeling when you get all your abilities and when you get the chance to go through a lot of the older content, revised, streamlined older content, and go through some of the older zones. Like even with the Valera series, we ended up going into Tirisfall Glades. We ended up going into, we crossed into Tirisfall. So, I was already looking forward to doing it from the Forsaken's perspective, but it was also just, it felt unique. It felt like I was going through the same quests, but I didn't feel bored with it. I didn't feel bored with it at all. I felt like I was still enjoying everything. I was enjoying the time. I think one of the memes is, mages only have one key and it's just Frostbolt, 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 Frostbolt. Like your whole keybinds are just strict to Frostbolt. It's more of a classic meme. But in retail, you just have so much fluidity as a mage. The only thing that I have outside of that initial 30 level hurdle, outside of that, I struggle to find what the refreshment spell was even for. Like, I understand it exists, and I understand it existed well before we got the recent one key assist for damage and whatnot. But we also have the refreshments, like universal. Every class, no matter what class you're playing, has the reversal. You can cook a meal over a fire and whatnot to give yourself some heals and such. But now with that, it kind of feels like, what do we do this? Like, why do we even have that spell anymore? I feel like it's just unnecessary. Maybe that's going to get like changed and altered. I've heard Midnight is going to be really retooling a lot of classes and just getting rid of a lot of the cluster. And I think that's going to help, because for a person like me, when you throw too much at me at one time, it's not a feeling of overstimulation that I get. It's just I can't keep up. And maybe that is overstimulation in a way, but it's not like I can't keep up because I'm getting nervous or anything. It's because I can't keep up because it's like all these spells are starting to blend in and look like one another, kind of, you know what I mean? And that's something, maybe it's just unique to the Frost spec of mages, but it's something I've definitely noticed. Like I said, classic, you had as a mage, you had so much freaking utility. The reason why you have that cook or conjure refreshment, and you level that up You go from just the basic to, I think, what, 5 levels in? Same thing. Like, you have Conjure Refreshment, then you have to conjure the water, and then the water goes into Sparkling Water, and so on and so forth. And then if you have to do the quest to get your Crystal Water from Dire Maul. You have to do that. So it's kind of one of those... I'm glad that they you know, Blizzard combine those two spells and it's just Conjure Refreshment, because at one point I was looking for, well, where's Conjure Water just to help build mana, and then it was just like, not that that's important in retail because you rarely run out of mana, like rare. It is rare unless you're utilizing Arcane Explosion like everywhere. Unless you're doing that, you're not really running out of mana. And I mean, that was, you know, it'll be interesting to see when I do Warlock and Druid and Warlock, Druid, and Priest to see if that still stays the same. But thus far, Mage and Shaman, I really didn't hardly ever run out of mana, so there was no real, like, worries there. But you're gonna love it. If you really like being in the back of the battles, you like being the support line troop, so to speak, and you just love seeing your numbers scale up. Like, you just love seeing the numbers and the damage scales go up. You're gonna love Mage. You're going to love playing Mage. No doubt about that in my mind, because mix all your AoE abilities up. It is such a sick feeling to just throw everything out at one time, lay the blizzard down, throw the sphere out, and then just start throwing everything else. It's like, then you do a run up, Cone of Cold, lock all the mobs in place. It's just like, dude, it is a sick feeling, man. It is a true sick feeling to do. There's also just something about mages. I don't know what it is about them. Every time I saw them, every time you get to see the evolution of mages from classic to retail and where it is now. I don't follow like tiers and leaderboards necessarily, because I don't run mythics. That's one aspect of the game I have yet to touch, is any mythic dungeons or any of that. So I really don't, or PvP for that matter. I do jump into PvP on occasions, but it's more so just for like the one-offs and just to have a good laugh, because PvP is just funny. But mages back in the day were PvP kings. Like, I remember the Horde side back in the day had a few names, and they were specifically mages. It was either you rogue or you were definitely a mage. But there was this one undead mage, I can't remember their name or what handle they went by, but they absolutely wrecked the house. And the montages that you would see back then were so unique and so cool to watch. You know, just coming from a primary Final Fantasy player, Azeroth, World of Warcraft, y'all had the best montages, y'all had the best machinimas, y'all had the best montages, y'all had the best content, definitely more unique. Over on the Final Fantasy side, prior to 14, we just had pretty much bare bones, going, you know, leveling and showcasing areas and maybe showcasing some endgame stuff. We did have that, but definitely not to the extent that y'all did, so shoutouts to y'all. But Mage is awesome. It's still a good feeling though to run up to like a group of mobs and also just start blasting with Arcane Explosion, especially if you're tag teaming with another mage and you both start doing it. It's just funny to hear those, you know, trickling sound effects. Mage is just super fun, y'all. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting to do the dungeons that I did get to run in Malachiel's series, because there's quite a few of them that definitely tripped me up, and there's definitely quite a few of them that I had to really, really pay attention. I think it was episode 3 or between 3 and 5. There was the one temple that I got one-shotted at, and it was just like, what the heck just happened? So it's always nice to just, yeah, there you go, dude. Yeah, dude. Look at this Arcane Explosion. Heck yeah, it's tradition. It's just tradition, y'all. You just gotta do it. It's mage only. Shoutouts to mages only, y'all. We get that Arcane Explosion tradition. I kind of wish we had Time Walking Classic available. Oh, that would have been so sick. Get to do Dead Mines or dude, just like Dead Mines or Zul'Farrak or Skullomans, not Skullomans, Strathhome. Get to do Strathhome. Oh, dude, that would have been super fun. Get to fight good old Baron. Not Rivendare, but his son or whatnot. Would have been sick. But yeah, you just can't, I don't know, you can't go wrong with a mage. I think I've definitely learned a lot about being a backline DPS in comparison to when I was doing Shaman. It was Resto, so I was up there with the team, dropping the totems, getting the heals in and everything. You learn to really, and again, just kind of like what I was saying when I was doing Paladin and whatnot, you learn to time your AoEs. Like for Paladins, your Consecrate, it's, when to time it, or what, when to gather, and then stuff like that for like AoE or crowd control type placements and such. Like you learn when, once you have more familiarization with a lot of the dungeons and such, you learn where to put your blizzards, where to maximize productivity, where to maximize if you're that big in the damage counter and you get to, see all the numbers and everything going up. So that's one thing that you definitely need to pay attention to in being a mage. In terms of going all out and blasting and getting a lot of the crowd control hate towards you, in retail, you don't, I didn't run into that as much as I thought I was going to. I was under the impression that I was definitely going to have to pull myself back and kind of hold back a little bit because I was so used to classic mage. If you are not careful in classic as a mage, you're going to be pulling more hate than you think, and it's going to end up being a wipe. And that is especially true when you get to the later level dungeons. Like you've got to be careful about where you put your blizzards. You've got to be careful about, because you do an AoE blizzard, and if you don't see a mob right around the corner who's a part of one group or a different group that's your guy, your team isn't currently fighting, well, congratulations, you just pulled a second group that your team wasn't ready for. That's especially important in dungeons such as Strathhome, live or dead side, back in Classic, and quite a few other dungeons, Zul'Farrak. You've got to be very careful and cognizant of where you are. But I think it's such a generic thing to say, because it's kind of like a lot of classes have to play like that in Classic. Again, Classic is just a different beast altogether. But in retail, you could just, look at this. You can go all out and not have to worry about pulling too much hate. I've pulled hate, I can probably count on one hand how many dungeons I've actually pulled hate off of the tank. And I really had to go all out in order to do that, just to kind of test the limitations. But again, there's a lot of wiggle room in retail. There's a lot of, whereas Classic, there's very little room for error. In retail, there's a whole middle ground, gray area of learn and just go all out and throw as much spaghetti as you want at the wall and just see what sticks. And that's super fun especially for casual players. That's what you want. You want them to be able to just maximize and just test everything out. So you can do that in retail. Classic, hold on. Classic, you got to be a little bit careful, but retail, you're going to be in good shape. Playing Mage as a Forsaken has really, it's in a way for me, it's kind of, and I've kind of already talked about it, so my apologies for the redundancy. It's about paying homage to what I used to do, getting that sense of familiarity again, while also having fun and really learning. I would love, and I hope in season 2 we're gonna run it back. We're gonna do another Mage in season 2, but it makes me excited to kind of play a mage in a different class, in a different way, with a different race, maybe a blood elf or a void elf, or maybe even a gnome. Y'all are gonna really have to do something with me and gnomes. You're gonna have to convince me here to do one. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but you're just gonna have to be a little bit of like, all right, you gotta do it. We're gonna force you somehow to do a mage or do a gnome. But I kind of also wish I did Blackrock Depths, you know. I kind of wish I did Blackrock Depths on Malakiel right now, because I was kind of looking forward to it. You know, Time Walking campaign right now is once a month. A few months ago, there was like it was like time walking after time walking after time walking. It was like almost every week it was a new one. But I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was a seasonal event or something. But currently, time walking right now, and it looks to be for the next few months, it's just going to be a once a month thing. So anytime time walking is available, I'm a huge proponent in get those levels in, do time walking. You're going to scale the levels so quickly. You'll jump in at level 15, you'll be level 45 by the evening or by the afternoon. You're gonna be like, where did the time go? It's fun. It's really fun. But I kind of wish, you know, for the first 1 to 30 levels, I had the ability to jump in and potentially get a classic dungeon and a random classic dungeon or whatnot, because that's what I was primarily queuing for. And I never got Blackrock Depths, but I would have been so excited to do arena runs on a mage. Dude, how does arena runs even work in retail? Like, do they even do that, or do people do full clears or whatnot? I don't know. Like I said, mage, you just jump into, here's what I would recommend doing for new mages out there. Here's what I would recommend doing. Do classic dungeons first as a mage for your first, like when you have the ability to get Dungeon Finder, or when you unlock it, jump into classic dungeons first. If you're completely new to World of Warcraft, jump into the classic dungeons first, get your bearings, then go to a different expansion. Doesn't matter if it's Burning Crusade, doesn't matter if it's Wrath or Legion, BFA, don't matter. Jump into that. And then see the difference. Just do one dungeon in that timeline, and then compare and contrast, because that's going to give you a very good idea of what type of player you want to be. And what I mean by that is, do you prefer the slower to medium type of play style, or do you prefer there's a lot of things going on at one time, this could be fun, this could be terrible, don't really know, or do you want to balance in between? Definitely test a lot of your dungeons, and that's kind of what I do. For each character, I try to plan out what dungeons I'm going to do. Which ones am I going to run? Which ones make the most sense? Am I going to showcase a raid? If so, what raid makes the most sense? What fits the theme of the character? So it was really cool to jump in spooky season right now in the month of October. Tradition for me is in the month of October is I gotta watch The Nightmare Before Christmas at least once. I gotta do it at least once, but I do need to jump into a mage. I think I might make that a seasonal tradition on the channel. Is just level of Forsaken every month. Doesn't matter the class, doesn't matter, just it has to be a Forsaken. And that's the other thing. Forsaken means so much to me. They really do. And again, this is coming from a Blood Elf loyalist, but the Forsaken and the backstory behind them, the story behind the fall of Lord Ron, the Scarlet Crusade, the rise of the Scarlet Crusade, the Lady of Sylvanas, the Dark Lady, Blood for the Blood God, her backstory and her tale, her lore and such, and just the other NPCs of, from everything from the Dreadguard to the Dreadguard to Belmont to the Master, the Royal Apothecary, how, back in Classic, working with the Torrent to kind of develop the plague type of samples, testing them, and just trying to keep themselves in the world. It's when we talk about the will of the Forsaken, we talk about the will of a person, the will to keep fighting, knowing that you are reborn into something that you never wanted to be anyway. You never asked for it, but you were just placed. You were placed in a horrible horrible situation and set of circumstances. And how do you grow from that? How do you build from it? Tirisfall, the magic of it, the absolute magic of Tirisfall Glades is a zone that I will always place at S tier. I will always place it at the top of my food chain for player housing. Hopefully it comes true one day. I'm sure it will. Like, just the Forsaken means so much to me. They really do. And getting to play one again in this capacity, getting back to my roots a little bit, getting to be that old school mage again, or just playing sort of somewhat like it but still keeping that modern sense to it, was just such a wonderful experience. It's just exciting for me. I mean, y'all see Malakiel in the intro. You literally see her in the intro, and then you see her at the outro when she was a human and when she was a Forsaken. There's a little bit of lore building to that, but that's intentional. Everything I do is with intent. Every character we level in Let's Level, it's done with intent. But I've definitely learned a lot. I've had so much fun. It's just been such a wonderful experience. Mages, y'all, I don't know where you guys place on the tier list in terms of, you know, be it PvP or Mythic Plus or whatever. You guys are still number one in my heart. And that's coming from somebody who is a pretty diehard on Paladin. Pretty diehard, but y'all are still number one in my heart. It's just awesome. Alright, family, this should be it. The final time walking dungeon as we look above a destroyed Undercity, the remnants of Lordaeron. Can't wait for the bonus episode to come out. We're going to be doing a lot of very, very fun things, but this should be it, family. This is it. The final dungeon, the final run. Let's go ahead and get the buff up and let's just get right to it. Archmage Malakiel. I can't wait to achieve that. And of course, it's got to be on this one. I was kind of hoping we would get Skolomance, maybe. Skolo is the final dungeon, but I'll take this. It simply doesn't matter. So I hope this journey has kind of inspired some of y'all, as I hope with every character that we do in Let's Level as a series. I hope it inspires players to just jump in and try something new and try something unique. And if the class appears boring, because there's definitely points where every class definitely feels, oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. What? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, dude. Oh, wow. Locked out twice. I've got to include this in the episode. I've got to do it. It's crazy. Wow. I'll just take a seat and we'll be done in a bit. Oh, guess I can't. Oh, there you go. That didn't last too long. But I hope it inspires y'all to just jump in. And if a class feels boring, and there are times where Mage definitely felt a little stale to me. It just felt like, man, I need to spice it up a bit. Try, if it's the class that's feeling boring, try a different spec. If it's still that, trust me on this, try a different race. Try that same class with a different race combination. Most of the time, it definitely will fix the issue of it feeling boring. Because sometimes that's all it is just jumping in with the right combination to kind of just make things feel fun. You know, when I blueprinted Malakiel as a mage, again, I was struggling between the two. I would lay out 3 different races, 3 different possible combinations, and then just say, okay, what makes more sense? You know, what have I already done? What type of race and race class combinations have I already done? You know, because the last thing I want is for it to just feel stale and boring and such like that. And again, there's always going to be overlap. There's always going to be overlap. But I try to avoid that as much as possible. But you just, man, mages, Forsaken mages, can't go wrong. You just can't. This journey has definitely been awesome. To think we are now at 6 level 80s, family. Six level, we're about to be at least 6 level 80s. Holy Toledo. Holy crow. 6 level 80s. I've got what? I've got another 2 that I'm already preparing. And then after that, we jump straight into the next 3. I've got Amaria still coming soon. I've got quite a few characters coming up. Oh goodness, and I've yet to start them, but I already know what we're gonna do. I already know what I'm going to do for them. I think it's gonna be very fun. This has gotten me excited to play Priest. And eventually I definitely want to play a Shadow Priest at some point. Maybe not in Season 1, but definitely in Season 2. Because I need to challenge myself, just like when I played Marame, just like when I played Marame for the Chamois, for the Resto Chamois. I need to challenge myself and to keep my team alive in the hardest set of circumstances. Because if I'm not diversifying, I'm not improving. It's bottom line. If I'm not diversifying the portfolio and the skill set, I'm not getting better as a player. I'll stay true to the spec. I'll stay true to the, what spec I go in and just stick with that, because for me it's the easiest and most not viable option, but it's just it's the easiest way for me to handle it, or to not diverge off the track, so to speak. Family, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Level 80 is about to be achieved. I'm sure you can all sit here and say, yeah, we got level 80. We definitely we did it, family. I'm gonna do it on a giant bug. I used to think Raigon was like this big, like, malformed lobster of some kind. Not lobster, crab. Then I realized, oh, he's just some giant insect. But I'm glad one of y'all pointed out as well with these cannons that this is what you're actually supposed to do for this fight. Y'all are supposed to jump in, shoot the cannons, and then bust some skulls. Get rid of the giant, get rid of his outer shell, which then makes it to where he's pretty much incredibly vulnerable. Shout out to that comment, by the way. Seriously, Dark Alias, I think it was you that pointed that out, so shout outs to you, brother. This boss is gonna go down. Jeez, he went down super quick. Wow. Alright, family. Level 80 achieved. I'll catch y'all in the bonus episode. Have a wonderful, safe week, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Shukran as always, family. Thank you for your support.